I'm Jennifer Vaughn with Ansley Real Estate Christie's International, and I'm joined here today with Maria Wayne from Broad Street Potential. And we are at 405 West Broad Street in Greensboro, Georgia. Maria, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Jennifer.
Why do they call this the Magnolia House?
Because originally when the home was built, they planted magnolia trees around it, and the whole perimeter was surrounded by these big, tall, gorgeous magnolia trees. The house was built circa 1870s. When I first saw the property, it was completely covered with trees from the outside. You couldn't see that there really was a house behind it. When I first looked at the exterior and saw all the architectural detail, I was very fascinated by it. And I thought, even though it was run down and it had been neglected for years, I knew that I would be able to revive that. When you walk throughout the yard, you'll find different all granite benches and 2 original mill wheels. The outside of the house has 3 matching pediments inside of the gables. It is such a unique design. I've not seen that anywhere else, actually. As you're approaching the house, you'll see a granite paved walkway that takes you right to the front door.
So Maria, the first time that I came here, walking up the front granite steps to this amazing property, I noticed all of the detail of the front porch.
Everything was done by hand back then. So there are turned spindles, scrolled corbels, balustrades. This home has the original tongue and groove hard pine flooring on the porch and also the ceiling that matches it as well. I painted the tongue and groove beaded ceiling on the porch a color called meander blue, which is used for good luck. I love the front door. It's the original all solid wood door, and it is surrounded by etched glass with a beautiful design in it. And it also has the original ringer that is about 150 years old, and it works. The first thing that I always look at with a historical home is if the doors match, if the original porcelain handles are still intact. I was in awe when I first walked through the door. The first thing I noticed were the 12-foot ceilings. They were gorgeous. One of the things that you'll notice when you first walk through the door is the original tongue and groove beadboard that is throughout the foyer, the hallway, and even going up the staircase, it continues, and on the second floor as well.
So one of the things about this home that makes it special is you can tell that this was designed for entertaining. When we walk into the parlor with the bay windows that are original and the beadboard that's underneath that, tell me a little bit more about the history of that.
That wasn't standard in Victorian homes. In Victorian homes, that was a sign of wealth.
So Maria, one of the things about Victorian homes, they didn't have traditional HVAC at that time, so they had fireplaces in every room. And one of the things that I noticed about this home is that every fireplace is different.
Well, some of them have what you would call dental molding as a part of the architectural design. The fireplace in the dining room is very detailed. It has lion heads on it. The lion heads are a sign of protection.
So Maria, I noticed the beads on this fireplace look like a necklace, and that was hand carved.
Exactly. Many of the doors throughout the first floor have the original brass steeple door hinges.
So Maria, when you bought the home, they had done a renovation in the kitchen, but you did something different. You opened it up.
The kitchen was actually renovated in 1970 by a man named J.D. Harris when he renovated the whole entire house. I actually removed one wall to open it up to the room next door, so I would also have a breakfast nook. Back in the day, a lot of kitchens were made with just one window. It was very dark and dreary looking, and I felt that if I opened it up, it would be more inviting.
This home has every modern amenity that you could possibly ask for in the kitchen. You've done a great job. You have a farm sink, you have stainless steel appliances, beautiful quartz countertops, just a fantastic renovation. It looks like it's a brand new home.
Everyone wants that nowadays, but what I love about the kitchen is that there's so much originality to it left. And actually, when I renovated that room, when we attempted to take down the sheetrock, what we didn't know was that there was beadboard behind that sheetrock. And I would have left it like that, but unfortunately, it wasn't hung in all one direction. But the great thing about that beadboard was that I was able to use it in the other room, in the breakfast nook, to frame the original exterior door and also around the electrical panel. In addition to that, I was able to use that beadboard for replacement pieces on the front porch. The fireplace mantle is actually made out of a beam that was removed from the wall between the kitchen and the old laundry room. It turned out beautiful. The live edge shelves, I used wood from trees that I had removed from my yard 2 years ago. So all of the wood is like wood from inside of the house. And 150 years ago, when homes were built, they used the same wood on the exterior and the interior. When you're doing a renovation, it's very important to me to use materials that would have been used back when this house was actually built. The house actually has the original wavy window floor to ceiling windows.
And Maria, why did they do that in that era?
Well, it was very common for them to open up the window and step out onto the veranda to have an afternoon tea party. It's unique for a home of this age to have such amazing storage.
So Maria, one of the features in modern homes that people enjoy is a spacious owner's suite. How were you able to capture that here at West Broad Street?
Well, I was fortunate in that the original bathroom was very large, so I had a large footprint to work with. But one of the challenges was that the original heart pine floor was covered in tile, and it had a layer of carpet on top of that. The carpet was easy to remove, but removing the tile, you had to be very careful in scraping that so you didn't destroy the original pine wood under it.
So some of the features in the bathroom, you have dual sinks,
Exactly.
You have a freestanding tub, you have a walk-in shower, so you have all of the modern amenities, but it still feels warm because you have some touches in there that make it special.
I was able to expose the original brick from the fireplace. While I've modernized to what people like today, I was able to save that hardwood floor. And that was a little bit of a challenge because there was one part that needed repair, but a friend gave me hard pine flooring that came out of an old barn. It's 120 years old. Once you get to the landing of the stairwell, you will see a beautiful stained glass window, and there's also a matching one in the front of the house. There's an original carriage house that is still completely intact with a metal roof. The carriage house is in a historic district. If you wanted it to be listed in the historic preservation sites, you could make an application for that.
The location of this home is fantastic. We are close to the Oconee Brewery here in Greensboro. We're close distance to downtown, which has a bunch of shops and restaurants, a new coffee shop,
Exactly.
a lot of things to do here.
But I just love the quaintness of the small town and that it's a historical town. An interesting fact about this home is that I actually live 2 blocks away from it, and also in the same house as J.D. Harris, who happens to be the gentleman who renovated this home in 1970.
So Maria, one of the things that I love about this historic district in any area is the fact that you're able to capture the period and restore to original beauty the home. Every home has a story, and the story of West Broad Street is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all the details with me.
It was my pleasure.